So today's conversation is about fear of visibility and running a business in the age of social media and content, long form, short form in general. And fear of visibility, we've both been through it in our journeys. And it's something that I think makes a massive impact. It can be either a limiting factor or it can be an expansive factor in your business. But showing up as a professional and showing up authentically they sometimes feel like they're at odds at each other.
Yeah.
And I just felt like sharing our experience with that. So for anyone out there that's like, you've hit post and then you immediately hate it and you just constantly think about deleting it, maybe you do delete it, or you've recorded the content and you feel like you hate the sound of your voice, or you're like, I feel too stiff, or you're reading from a script and that's why it sounds like, anyone that's just having that battle and you want to have that breakthrough where it comes out authentically, this is the episode for you.
I agree. You put it perfectly.
Should I start? Should you start with just the experience? I want to hear a little bit more about your experience.
So one of the things that we did was we actually took this to ChatGPT, because when do you not take something to ChatGPT? So
we took literally everything.
Everything.
What should I get? What order
should I get?
What does my wife want? No, I called
you nasty. You called me nasty, which was the sweetest thing. 10 out of 10.
I was going to ChatGPT it, but
anyway, it worked out perfectly.
But we wanted to know, what are the fear of visibility? What's the deeper question, or what's the deeper concern?
Yeah, and we came up with ChatGPT came up with a bunch of questions, and we ended up picking up the ones that I'd say resonated with us the most.
Yeah.
And for me anyway, it's actually really helpful to go through those questions, because they're almost like GPS pinpoints of my experience, to be like, oh, I remember when that came up, or I remember when that came up. And so I guess, at a high level, my experience in my whole career journey, before getting into all of these questions, is I'm a pharmacist by trade. That's what I went to school for. And then I did a bit in corporate for 5 or 6 years doing program management. And then I transitioned into entrepreneur land, and I did that for 10 years until I found myself at the Artful Dollar. And throughout that entire time period, it was a huge growth period, a huge transition. I went through so much of just, how do I show up? Who am I? What's my voice? What are other people thinking? Can I record myself? Is this weird? And it was a battle between wanting to look and be professional, not just look, because I am professional. We are professional. We're all professionals in what we do. We're running companies, we're doing businesses. But it was a battle, just like you said, between wanting to be professional and wanting to be authentic. And I felt for the longest time I couldn't be both, because for some reason my true authentic self would never actually be accepted as the professional that I am.
And there's a lot of authenticity's almost become like a catchphrase.
It's like a whole yeah.
When the truth is that it is that authenticity, that it's kind of like that magnet. And maybe you've heard people talk about it like this before, but it was kind of revolutionary for me to realize that my authentic message, voice, expression, that might not always be the most professional one, it is a magnet that is going to attract the people that I'm meant to work with, and it's going to push away and possibly even piss off or bother people that I'm just not meant to work with. And so, like any magnet, the more powerful it is, the more it will pull and push. And I think trying to only fit yourself into the most professional version of yourself is putting a cap on how authentic you can be.
Yeah, it's really limiting. It's really, really limiting, because then you're just basing what you're putting out there on just what you think should be acceptable. I'm getting into it.
Let's dive into the questions, because they're not even questions. They're just subconscious fears. So when you're thinking, I don't know what to post, what's probably actually under there, and these are the ones that resonated with us, so maybe they won't resonate with you, but maybe they do. I built this professional image. Will being more me just make me look unhinged?
This was a huge one for me. Because the professional image that I had was rooted as a healthcare professional working in corporate, And then one of my first things as an entrepreneur was like writing children's books. Like it wasn't anything wild and eccentric, but I was just like, I didn't even know if I wanted to put it under my own name. It was such an intense fear of being seen. And then like, what do I record? What do I say? And then moving on to that into like consultation. What are the businesses that I'm going to do for operations? Like it was just like, if people actually got to know me by just watching my content, there was no control that I had over if they liked me or if they didn't. And that scared me.
Yeah. The minute you put it out there, you hand over control.
Yeah. That really scared me for a long time.
And so the next statement is being fully self-expressed a luxury for people who have already made it?
Right, because there's suddenly proof. I don't have to worry about controlling things because I have oodles of money and content and experience that's
Right,
already telling it.
we can all look at certain people like Gary Vee. You know, he's one of my favorite marketing, content creators, gurus, if you will. He's so self-expressed in his content, and he's already made it. But if you go back through the years, you will see he's always been that. And now I think he realized that he needs to let more of that out. And if you really, he's been doing this, he's been in the marketing game for so long, and he just let more and tapped into more of it. But he's a great example of someone that's been fully self-expressed before he made it. And it very much so was the bridge between where he was and where he is now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I actually want your thoughts on this next one, Ryan, particularly with like our own work. I don't want to post until my brand is really clear and cohesive.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about that.
So, yeah, I think everyone also, the topic of brand, and I listen to a lot of Alex Ramosi, and they talk about brand as association and stuff like that. I've come to realize that, like, I thought I knew what brand was. I thought I knew my brand when I made the Artful Dollar. I was like, that's a cool name. I had, like, the logo, the Enzo. Yeah. But the truth is I didn't have any of it figured out. And when I first started making content, I was making financial content for tattoo artists, which I knew the minute I did that, like I was going to get a world of hate and judgment, because just the world of tattooing doesn't take kindly to people that are trying to like level up and expand, elevate and evolve into, and I knew people were going to think like he's a scam or he's just trying to, whatever they say about me. And so I was making this content, and it was like I was telling them what they need to hear or what I think they need to hear, but it wasn't really resonating with them deeply. It took me a while. It took me practice. And so I didn't have my brand figured out at the time. I had what I wanted to offer and what I wanted to say. I had the information figured out, but I didn't have a way of expressing it that was going to resonate. And I felt like, well, if I truly allow myself to like rip the lid off and just be the unhinged weirdo that I am, that people will think that I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm not really, because I saw all these other financial professionals who are, you should get in a Roth IRA and you should do this. Right. And I thought I was supposed to look like them, but I don't even think they had it figured out, and it took me practice of showing up. Here's the thing, you kind of have to show up inauthentically over and over again to find that authenticity. And that requires you to let go of control and make the thing that you're not super happy with, but it's one stepping stone on your path to finding that authenticity. And I still constantly feel, I've been making content for 5 years, which is kind of crazy to even say, because I was never someone that wanted to make content. I was against it. I never wanted to be an influencer. I never wanted any of that. I still feel like I'm tapping in. I'm like, ooh, I'm actually getting excited about the content that I'm making now, because it feels more like me now than it ever did 5 years into the game. But if I didn't repeatedly show up kind of in between, like not fully authentic, but not necessarily inauthentic, in that weird middle ground over and over again, I wouldn't have been able to find this new self-expression in my content. Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable. It's not like, you're going to post something.
It's like the most uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like you post things while being uncomfortable. You post things and you're just like, not you, but just in general, things that I've done. It's just like, you post things and you're like, God, I hope that's okay. And you do it over and over and over. And eventually you're just like, okay, just get it out. Like, this is fine. You don't overthink it.
Sometimes I would question, I was like, why
Yeah.
do I keep trying to post things that I know will rub some people the wrong way, but in my heart, I know it's something that I feel is honest and true. I wasn't just being polarizing just to be polarizing. I was sharing about things that were important to me, even though I knew, and then I would just worry about it. I would just post it, and then all day I would just stress about what are the comments going to be, who's going to say what, and it kind of brings me to
I was going to say, this is an excellent segue to
the
this
last one
one.
here is, if I never get over the fear of being seen, will I die with my real work still inside me? That one for me gets to the core of it. In fact, when I
Yeah.
started making content, I was so uncomfortable in front of the camera. And then I saw there was another financial advisor. I got my financial advisor's license, and I was working with a wealth management firm on my path to financial coaching and then business education. But in the beginning, that's what I was doing after 13 years of tattooing. And I saw another financial advisor. He was actually a full CFP certified, making content for tattoo artists. And he called himself the Tattoo Artist Advisor. And I'm so grateful to that guy because, one, bless his heart, content wasn't great. But it strung a chord in me. And I was like, I will not die. I refuse to die with this in me. And it put this fire under me. And I was like, I have to get out there. I have to get out of my comfort zone in front of the camera and talk to people. And it fell on deaf ears, and it fell on deaf ears, and I would get the judgment and the ridicule. But then I would get like that one DM from that one person, and they'd be like, oh my God, no one's talking about this. Thank you so much for saying this. Like, I literally, no one is sharing this kind of information and talking about it in the way that you are, and I really appreciate it. And so I found that, like, the people that judge, they're usually the people that show up first in your comments. They're the loudest.
They are always the loudest. Absolutely.
But I think they're the minority. I think they're the smallest number. But it's always that one comment of someone that, is angry or called. And I've been called everything. I've been everything I was afraid of being called, right? Because ultimately, I think a lot of this fear comes down to imposter syndrome.
Totally. Yeah. No, it definitely does.
And not wanting to be perceived as fake or a scam or whatever. I've been called everything that I was afraid of being called multiple times. You kind of have to ask yourself, if I want to reach a bigger audience of people, if you can't handle that one comment that you got at 1,000 followers, you'll never be able to handle the hundreds of comments that you get at 10,000 or 40,000 followers or wherever you're at. So
right. With success, it's only as you grow, it's only going to increase in terms like the ratio of people that follow you. Of course, there's going to be more people that disagree.
But here's
with
the
you.
thing, that's literally a sign that you're being authentic.
Well, right, and more people are following you. And one of the takeaways too that I keep in mind is that volume does not equal volume. The loudness in which people's displeasures with you does not equal the amount of the amount of hate that's actually out there. Just because someone's being super loud and doesn't agree with you doesn't mean you're not actually out there helping people. Yeah, it's just being not afraid, just consistent enough to continue to post despite that.
Yeah, if I wasn't bothering people, I wouldn't be helping the people that I meant to help. And so if you're mission-driven founder, financial advisor, or coach, or whatever your business is that you're looking to reach people through your content, if it doesn't trigger someone in a sort of negative or off-putting way, it's not going to trigger someone in a connected, authentic, resonating way. And that's just one of those truths. So you have two choices. You either play it safe and give them the information, and I'm sure it's great information. I'm sure you're so smart and you know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm sure you can help a ton of people. But you give the information from a place of, let me play it safe so that I don't get judged or comment, or you start to peel the cap off. You peel the lid off, and you let a little bit of that Pandora's box out or
Yeah.
whatever that and it might be a little bit unhinged, and it might be exactly what the person you're meant to work with needs to hear to connect with you versus everyone else out there, because it's getting really stale. Like in the world of business and financial advice, like it's pretty stale. And then it's people like, Alex Ramosi, who makes many claims that are so polarizing, and he gets so much hate for it, but he's helped me tremendously. And it was that honesty that really resonated with me. It's the same honesty that totally pisses someone else off, and he's not right or wrong. He's just doing his thing.
Yeah. Actually, one of the things that, and I don't know if like when celebrities read their tweets from people that disagree with them, this is one of my favorite things to watch. So like, and I love it because it's just the embodiment of just not just like the people that agree with me and that I'm helping, but to shed some.
Should I read that Reddit post about me?
I mean, we can cackle. Why not? I don't know if we're down for it. So, but it's just like, they just bring up the tweet and then it seems like they've never read it before. And it's just the most absurd stuff. And you just watch their reaction to it and they laugh. They're like, oh my gosh. They'll be like, yeah, you're probably right. It's just the funniest thing. Cause it's like, it doesn't actually matter when you really think about it. The work that we're doing and the people's negative comments, it does not matter. The only thing that actually matters is who are the people that you're impacting? Who are you actually helping? Everything else is just noise. You can either get swallowed up by the noise or continue just doing what you're doing.
I think in the beginning, what stops you from either making the content altogether or just what stops you from really finding your authentic voice and easily, conveying that, getting it out. In the beginning, it's the ideas of not even just the comments, but what are other people in your life gonna say or think?
Yes, that's
The other people at the watering hole, down at the coffee shop, or wherever.
Yes.
What are the other parents at the PTA meeting?
Yeah, but it's true.
In the WhatsApp group
Whether
or whatever.
it's like family, partners, like all this other stuff too. Like it's the people. That was my biggest hurdle. It was the people that were closest to me that was like, I wanted approval so badly. I just wanted I wanted people to just be like, hey, that's a really cool thing you're doing, or I never thought it that way. And that doesn't always come. And so for the people that mean the most to you in that moment of your life when you're starting this, and there's no immediate validation sometimes until you put yourself out there, until you take the chance and you get that DM randomly of like, oh, thank you so much.
I actually had an experience really early on. So when I started making content, I was in we'll call it my starter marriage. And my ex-wife, mother of my daughter, she's an amazing human being, but we just didn't, and she didn't seem super stoked or supportive of this path. I was going from tattoo artist to financial advisor. Like, I get it. It's a big, weird move in life. But it's what I wanted to do. And she shared with me a friend of hers in the punk scene. She was seeing the content that I was posting, and her friend said something to the like of, why is Ryan posting about like saving for retirement when these people can't even, make enough money to make ends meet? He's tone deaf or something like that. And I remember feeling so betrayed. So like, I was like, well, what did you tell her? Did you tell her like that Ryan, he's making content for people that need to hear this, and maybe it's not for everyone. And, she couldn't hear it. She couldn't align with it. And it was like, literally like one of the most important people in my life at that time not resonating with and I would record content. This is during COVID. So we were in a pressure cooker of a tiny Brooklyn apartment, and I had to record financial content for tattooers, knowing that like the person that was right there, the mother of my daughter, the person right in my household is not on board. And it was just so uncomfortable. And so I know there are other people out there. And again, there's no judgment or anything. Like, you might be in a position where you have roommates or someone that you're like, man, they're going to hear me make content. And that might be the thing stopping you from helping all the people that you're meant to help. And so I just want to share that experience, because I did it anyway, and I pushed through, and It led to a 7-figure business. It led to us helping thousands of tattooers around the world. It helped us saving lives. But if I didn't push through that awkward, uncomfortable phase and do it day in and day out, I wouldn't have been able to reach those people and make that difference. And it easily could have stopped me. I easily could have said, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. And there are times right now where where I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of getting old with the constant criticism and hate and being called a grifter and a scam artist, scam boy, and the Reddit posts and all this stuff. People literally make their own content on Instagram hating on me. There's literally a guy making content claiming that I have predatory sales practices and that I'm manipulating and taking advantage of people. And he's made like 8 or 9 posts in the past month.
Oh, yeah.
About there's other people that just literally, that's how they get their self-esteem, by making content hating on me. And there's hundreds of people in those comments. And it's like, I'm aware of it. I see it. And it wears down on me sometimes.
Yeah.
But I can look at the testimonials. I get messages every day from clients that they're like, oh my God, this is changing my life. This is helping me so much. And so that is the price that I have to pay to make the difference in people's lives that I want to make. And if I have to pay that price to make that difference, I will pay that price all day.
Yeah. So I love what you said. In my own personal experience, like, yeah, whether it was from exes or family members or whatever, like, again, amazing people, phenomenal people, whether they're just not our people or they're just doing something different, whatever it is. And the thing that I would get, it wasn't so much criticism in terms of what I was doing. It was either, just either apathy of like, oh, that's weird. And then like they'd kind of go on, or it would be like, what does this mean? Did we do something wrong? Why are you posting stuff like this? Is it something that we can fix or help with? Like it just wasn't quite an understanding of what I was putting out there or what I was trying to do, because it was so different from where I came from. And I find there's actually a really awesome Nikola Tesla quote. I quote this thing all the time. I absolutely love it. And I might butcher it here, but bear with me. It's, when you realize every opinion is a vision loaded with personal experience, you'll then understand that all judgment is just a confession. And so people that are judging you are saying something always about themselves. And it's not ever really in a malicious, it's not really coming from a malicious
Nikolai Tesla,
place.
that guy was judged harshly, And
it never really comes from a malicious place, like objectively, maliciously of like, I'm going to take you down, fuck off. It's usually...
It comes from a fear and insecurity.
It comes from a wild fear and insecurity of, I can't handle what you're doing because you're a mirror for something about me that I don't want to look at.
Yeah.
And when you think about it that way, the loudness is just them trying to protect themselves. It's just them trying to be safe. And that's why volume does not equal volume. The louder they are does not mean that that's happening with every single person that you're trying to reach.
Wouldn't it be awesome if like the people that you actually help were the loudest people?
What if you gave
if they were just slamming your comment section, like, oh my God, I literally can't get over the fact that this is the best thing ever.
Heart. Right.
We don't live in that world.
No.
That would be dope. That would be dope. But we don't live in that world.
Right. Controversy gets clicks, not compliments. So it's just like
and people wake up in the morning and choose violence.
They often do to make themselves feel better, for entertainment, whatever we want, And
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the person that wakes up and like the way they get their serotonin kick out of the day is that they feel the need to tear someone else down on the internet. And that's a lot of people. And like that, honestly, that sucks. I have never gone out of my way. I've never felt the need to go out of my way to tear someone else down. And there are times where I feel, sometimes I think about, I'll think the thing, I'm like, oh, I should say that. And I'm like, that's not going to make this person's life better or help anyone. And I don't say it. Like I literally just want to put out stuff that's going to make people's lives better.
Yeah, that's really... And
doesn't mean I don't call people out sometimes, but I come from a place of love.
Yeah, and I think too, like, what eventually does end up happening is, like, one of these things that we said is being fully expressed a luxury for people who've already made it. And people often always look for proof before doing a thing. And that's just a recipe for waiting. Like, that's all it is. We can't wait to make sure it's okay for us to put our voices out there. And so it's just like, eventually, if you put your voice out there enough,
You build the evidence.
you build the evidence, and the whole tide turns around of like, whatever, whoever was in your past life, family, anyone that disagreed, exes, friends.
But it's crazy that like
people,
I have like the fucking bank of evidence, and I still feel it. I still feel
the feeling inside might not go, or maybe it's just, I don't know.
I have a higher tolerance for it than I ever did.
It grows, right, exactly.
And so that does happen. You have to get those first couple in.
You do.
Now it happens on a daily basis, honestly. So one of the best pieces of advice, and a lot of the best pieces of advice I've gotten from Alex Ramosi. Credit, where credit's due. And he has a whole video on what to do around trolls. And 9 times out of 10, you do nothing. Literally, you don't respond. And I can't think of a time that I responded to a troll that I was like, oh man, so glad, cleared that up.
Right.
You know what I started doing?
Him.
No, this has been my absolute favorite. This is either I do nothing, or they're doubting me, right? They're making a claim that I am somehow scamming people. I have a whole Instagram account that all I do is post testimonials on that. That's it. When I post a testimonial from a client that I've worked with on my page, I collaborate with this other Instagram profile that I never post to organically. And if you're a coach or advisor or whatever, and I know there's compliance things around testimonials, but I highly recommend doing this. Make a whole separate Instagram page that just has videos and pictures of people you've worked with talking about their experience of working with you. And then anytime someone leaves a comment or has a doubt, or maybe they just have a genuine question, they're like, hey, I'm really curious, like, is this legit or is this helpful? You just tag that page. And so that's how I respond to trolls. I'm like, hey, I don't really know what you're talking about, but if you're curious, you can just listen to what these people have to say.
It's the evidence.
It's the evidence. And I just have the evidence. And that way they don't have to go off platform. I don't have to be like, go to my website and just read my testimony.
Right.
No one's going to fucking do that.
No.
But then anyone else who might be reading this troll's comment and being like, ooh, yeah, what's the deal with this? They immediately can see my reply. I don't try to explain myself. I just say, hey, these people are the source of truth. You can go listen to what they have to say. And I leave it at that. And that's probably been the best way that I have handled trolls. And I highly recommend anyone give that a shot.
Yeah, I forget who it was. I forget who said this, and I wish I could give him credit because this is not my words. And it's the success and making things happen in business is not about being right. It's about being undeniable. If you can build enough evidence to be undeniable, regardless of past experience, what your own insecurities are, what you're seeing out there, what everyone else is doing, if it's undeniably working, like,
here's the thing, there will still be doubters.
There will still be.
There
of
will
course.
still, even when you think you have the ocean, the bucket, or whatever amount of undeniable proof, there will still be doubters. And they're just people that are not actually ready to hear
that's all it is.
Who you are, what you have to say. They're not ready to handle it.
Those clients are not ready, and that's okay.
Someone once explained this to me, like in terms of like authenticity and vibration and energy coming out, right? You're gonna share your authentic message in the way that you do, in the way that no one else could. And it really is an art form. At the end of the day, it is an artistry to not just have the information, but present it in a way where someone doesn't just know it, but they get it. There's going to be people that their vibration, their energy are like right below you, and they're going to see it and they're going to be like, ooh, I want to come up to where they are. That's exciting. I feel a little bit called out, but also a little bit seen and heard all at the same time. Like, I'm going to come up to where this person is.
Pick up
and
what they're putting down.
I want to pick up, right? And then there's going to be people that are like way down here and they're going to see it, but they're not ready. They're not close enough. So they're actually going to have to throw rocks at it to disprove it because it's triggering or offensive to some part of their identity that they, some shadow part that they're not willing to look at, like we've been saying.
Yeah. Totally off topic, but that just reminded me. I was a little girl. I was playing outside with dolls. I don't know if this relates to anything, but throwing rocks at the thing. I was playing with a Barbie doll or something like that. I was throwing up in the air, and it got stuck in a tree. And that's what I started doing. I just started throwing rocks at it rather than going to climb the tree to get it because I knew I was capable and it really wasn't that
too
high
far
up.
away.
It's too far away. This team just seems too insurmountable. Like, stupid tree, I'm going to throw rocks
So
at
really,
it.
they're just trying to get you to
They're
them,
trying to get you
but
to
they're just
them.
doing it by throwing rocks.
Well, the only way
That's
they
what
know
you're
how.
saying, right?
That's really what No, Joe, seriously.
I like it. No,
Yeah, that's basically it.
So, is there any advice we can give? If you have questions about this stuff,
Yeah.
like, please, I will answer every single question in the comments. Like, let me know.
Totally.
It is a struggle. It's an ongoing journey. Something I heard that really helped me out was making content that isn't about the thing that you make content about. So there's the thing you're passionate about, right? Which is your business, your mission, the people you want to help, the problem you want to solve. Go make content like about, like, pretend you're on a cooking show. I literally did this. And in the very beginning, this helped me get comfortable in front of the camera because I didn't have all of the, it's like, this is so important to me, I better get it right. I wasn't doing that. And that's where the magic happens. That's where the authenticity comes from. And I just set up the camera and I was like, all right, welcome to the cooking show with Ryan. I'm about to cook some eggs. What's up?
About to cook some eggs.
It's about to get crazy in here. And like, I just didn't care because I wasn't going to post it. And it just like gave me this comfortability in front of the camera that I learned to transfer into the content that I was making. And it wasn't a one for one, but it really, really helped me get over that stiff, like, turn the camera on, record, and you're just like, you just freeze.
Right. Right.
So
It's
it was really helpful, leaning into the discomfort over and over again. And hopefully this helps someone else out there find their voice and their mission. You have any last notes or thoughts to leave?
No, I think we really covered it. I say so for video, that's probably the biggest hurdle is to get over is just recording video. But even like another place to start is just like, I think Threads is a great place to just dump quips, thoughts, what you're working on, and kind of learning how to scream into the void a little bit authentically. I really like it. Like today I posted, it's not supposed to necessarily be off brand, but it's just a relatability thing. Like, sure, I'll post about ops and this and that and systems and the work that we're doing and motivational stuff. And then I posted about, I have no idea how to use dry shampoo and I'd really like it if someone could help me with that. And I got so many people replying, and it was just a fun way to have a conversation with people, to connect with people, to just put myself out there, to just show that, hey, I'm a person too. And I'm not being inauthentic. I'm not trying to do a trend or a dance. I'm like, in addition to the work that I'm doing, this is also something that I am trying to figure out. So I would love your help. So anyway, sometimes it doesn't have to be apples to apples with what you're doing. Sometimes it's just like, it's a nice day out. Here's a tree I really like. And that's it. And that's just being authentic. It doesn't have to be super mega unhinged. It's just, this is who I am and this is where I am in this space. And I'd like for you to join me.
And it definitely reps. You know,
reps. Reps. Yes.
On the Artful Dollar podcast, which is the first podcast I started doing, like, we're close to 100 episodes, which is so insane.
Amazing.
100 episodes. I mean, we're like at 80 something like that. I mean, it's getting crazy. Awesome. And I honestly feel like I'm just understanding what I want that podcast to really be and feel and be about. Right. And it took me almost 100 episodes, and I feel like I'm just starting to get that. And that is honestly like a really exciting place to be. I almost feel like you should never lose that. In the beginning, you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't know. And then you just don't do anything.
Right.
And you get the first one, and you get the second one, and then you start to get this exciting momentum of like, ooh, I kind of feel like now, and then you do another 20 episodes, and you're like, actually, I don't want it to be like that at all. I want it to be like this.
That's another thing too, not being afraid to pivot. That was a huge hurdle for me in the beginning, because I felt like what I start with, I have to be committed to. I am marrying this, whatever this is.
Even this podcast, we're like, we don't know what this is going to be, but we are passionate about it.
Yes.
We're going to talk into the void.
We're going to do
whether people listen to it or not. And honestly, I feel like that's this is really fun. We really
Yeah.
enjoy this. I hope that comes across in this podcast, and I hope that that energy helps you in your own business. So I think it's a good note to end on. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments. We want to really be in touch with our entrepreneurial, financial creator community. And we'll see you next time on, I guess we're calling it The Face of Finance still.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what it is for now.
it is right
but
now.
who knows what it'll be in the
who
future?
knows? We're making it up
as we go.
As we
We'll
are.
see you there.
Bye.